the young ladies that walks around the beaches. And that's what they do. And anybody who says they don't do that, well, you're a liar. Because how much has the rate gone up? Not just in Cornwall, how much has the rate gone up in the UK since you've had the buggers coming over? And I don't call them migrants. People call them bloody migrants. And they're not migrants because a migrant, he travels, he works, and then he goes. That's what the migrants do, and that's where the word migrant comes from, see? You've got them. They're settlers, and they've come here, and they're an army of the fighting age men who have come over here on the boats, Channel Tunnel, flown in on the bloody planes, dropped in, got a premier, and it goes into the bloody hotels, and then it gets rigged up and it gets closed, and they get all these bloody credit cards and phones, and then they get released out there on the bloody public. And once they out there on the public, they starts colonizing. Once they starts colonizing, then the English people, instead of giving the bloody food and money to these starving bloody people, and they do that with the starving Africans, all the bloody stories, see? And as soon as they bloody starts colonizing here, down here in Cornwall, like they colonize up there and everywhere they goes, they're like bees, see? They're like bees, and they get a nest. There's a nest. You get one or two, and once you get one or two, they get like a nest. See, they get a nest, and they nestles up in the bloody house, and they sit up there, and then all of a sudden they get the premier shot. And then there's the rest of them, and they all goes up there, and he sleeps up there, and all the council rules goes out the bloody window. Because if it's an Englishman, if you got too many people in the house, it's how you're bloody overcrowded and you gotta move them out. But those bloody undesirables, and they get in the houses, and it doesn't matter how many there is in the bloody house, they're never overcrowded. They got bunk bed upon bunk bed upon bloody bunk bed. So you got 6 bunk beds on top of another 6 bunk beds, and they're never overcrowded. And once I'm in there, then it goes and distributes them all. Distributes the little buggers out there in amongst all the premiers that they got all bloody set up, because they don't have to pay the business tax, and they don't pay the rent and the bills that an Englishman's going to pay. They never have to pay that. That's why if he looks around the bloody town, all the bloody English shops have been shut down. And they reopened, and you got a bloody Muslim running the bloody shop. And that's the ones who's being distributed from the bloody premiers. And I'm not talking about the bloody premier hotels. I'm talking about the premier. Because it all goes out, see? The bugger, it goes out. And if an Englishman don't stand back and fight for his bloody castle, then I wouldn't call you an Englishman, because you're not an Englishman if you don't interrupt. Because it's an invasion, you see. It's a massive invasion. And it's an invasion that we don't want. And they're not coming here with bloody guns and dropping bombs like they did in World War II. They're not doing that. It's what I call Islamic invasion. How do they bring them in? They bring them in, they not got weapons when they comes in. The only weapon the Muslims got right at the moment is a rape. Any English woman who's out there walking around doing her daily shop, and all their daily business and the kids, be very, very, very cautious. Very cautious of these disgusting Muslims, and they will rape. And they don't care about it because it comes from a country where rape's okay. And they got a God called Allah. I don't even know who the bugger is, but I know a little bit about him. The Prophet Muhammad says that it's okay to have sex with a 5-year-old. And these Muslims, they seem to bloody worship this Muhammad and this Prophet.